Hey, I want to thank you for stopping by and taking in some more of this content. I'm Mark Whittington, one of the partners at Inspire Partners. And, we feel like one of the most important things that we owe all of our partners around the country is candor. We want to help people do and participate in some of the extraordinary things that we're doing here, achieve every level of success they can conceive and believe. And that starts with candor. And the foundation of that is, well, what does it really take to succeed? I like to compare it to the red pill, blue pill concept in the Matrix. The blue pill takers, those that took the blue pill, decided to keep their head in the sand and they didn't want to deal with the current reality of the real circumstances they were living in. But those that took the red pill, and that's who we're talking to, said, you know what? I want to deal with reality. I want to live my life the way that I want to live it, but I got to know the truth in order to do that. And so that's what this little short video is going to be about, kind of the red pill of success. A couple of key things involved in that as a foundation to catapult you into leveraging the systems and everything that you're hearing about on this website. Real quickly, let me talk about our mission. Our mission is simple. As a team and enterprise, we are here to economically empower any and every American that's willing to show up, be coachable, and do the work. Ultimately, more than Americans, internationally. But the foundation is the same. Show up, be coachable, and do the work. Economic empowerment, from our perspective, is our contribution to making our communities, our culture, ultimately our world a better place, and prepare not just our business and our partners, but even our kids and our families for a greater level of achievement moving forward. That starts with increasing your standard of living. It's great to earn part-time income. We love that. It can allow you to pay off debt, especially bad debt. It can help you increase your savings, get an emergency fund in place, college funds, things like that, ultimately supplement your retirement. So getting those pieces in place increases your standard of living. Then you can start thinking about actual freedom and becoming financially independent. That's defined as the point in time when your passive income exceeds your actively earned income. That'll mean more to you as we go through this, but it's critical to achieve that goal is first knowing what your financial independence number is. What is that amount of money or its equivalent do you need set aside in order to create the income that you need to cover your lifestyle, your needs and wants, et cetera. So you become then financially independent. You can then focus on multi-generational wealth. And that'll occur by fully taking advantage of and leveraging both business assets and investment assets so that you create an estate ultimately that ensures your family's, kids, and perhaps even your grandkids' security for generations to come. That's it. Small little mission we've got. And just maybe that's something you could be passionate about, not just for your family, but for the families of your partners that you ultimately work with under the umbrella of our enterprise. But again, more candor. Let's take the red pill and let's deal with the real circumstances. Let's look at how are Americans doing. How are the people that might come to work with you faring in the greatest economy in the world? Well, by age 65, 95% of them end up dead, disabled, or broke. And that breaks down into these categories. 54% of us are dependent on a fixed income source like Social Security. Stands to reason, consequently, that 36% of us are still having to work for additional income above that fixed source. Unfortunately, 5% of us end up having passed away. 4% of us actually end up financially independent. 4% end up financially independent. And that 1% little sliver that's left are those that become wealthy. They create a generational legacy that does, again, take care of their kids and their grandkids, setting it up in whatever trust format or however they want to do it. But those are the statistics, and they're not all that encouraging. They ought to be fairly eye-opening. And which do you want to end up in? And quite frankly, what we want to do is change these statistics altogether and try to get more people into this financial independence category. Why isn't that 20% or 30% or 40%? That's our mission. Now, to understand why those are the statistics, We love using and talking about Robert Kiyosaki and the cash flow quadrant that he's created for us. It's a simple understanding of how people earn income. There's 4 basic ways. He's labeled all this under his cash flow quadrant, but he started on the left-hand side. Upper left-hand side is a W-2 employee. You've got a job. By the way, that's the highest tax way to earn income, but your income is based on your position, not the person, not your skills or background, et cetera. And for any of you that have lost a job, you understand the real lack of control that exists there. Lower left-hand quadrant, somebody that owns a job, an independent contractor, dentist, doctor, lawyer, real estate agent, financial advisor. You can increase your income because you're the one determining what the value of your time is, but you've still only got so much time. And what we see often in this quadrant is a high level of stress and lives that are completely out of balance. And again, limited opportunity. Why? Because you are actively earning income. Your income is a direct result of the effort that you make and the time that you put in. So it's limited, period. However, on the right-hand side, upper right-hand, now we've got business owners. They own an asset, a business asset. They own a system. They leverage people. They can truly create an unlimited income for themselves, be it manufacturing, marketing, other products and services. They can create an abundance of resources and real freedom of their time. But again, the key word there is leverage. Lower right-hand side is now an investor. They own assets. Notice leverage again. Now they're leveraging money. And talk about complete freedom and really living the dream. You don't have a business to manage. You simply have investment assets that kick out profit or interest or whatever. So the key leverage on the right-hand side creates passive income. Okay. Now, how do you think most people are doing? Where do you think most people are earning their income? Well, I'm sure you got it right. Left-hand side. The reality is 95% of the working public earn their income actively on the left-hand side of the quadrant. Now, the opposite of that, the 5% on the right-hand side control 95% of the wealth in this country. Remember those 4% financially independent and that 1% wealthy? So which 2 ways to you to earn income appeal the most? Now that's a rhetorical question because I wouldn't hear you if you did answer me, but I hope you did answer it. And if you're like 95% of the people that I asked, you said right-hand side. I'd like to own a business asset. I'd like to be an investor. Ultimately, I'd like passive income. So wait a minute. We've seen the statistics. We've seen the report card. We've seen the way people earn income. This seems like a pretty simple equation. We just need to get people from the left-hand side earning income on the right-hand side. Well, what stops most people from making that transition? And this is where the real truth begins. If you want to change your life, you got to change your thinking, period. End of story. Lots of things go into that. And time with us will allow you to dig deeper and learn more. That's what we spend a lot of time doing. But you've got to begin to change the way you think. See, we're born as natural risk takers. Think about your toddler. I mean, even learning to walk for them, if they thought like adults, would be a very risky proposition, but they do it enthusiastically. Riding a bike, we're born natural risk takers. But as we grow older, our parents, our culture, our employers teach us to begin to play it safe. That's not our natural tendency. And what ends up happening, most adults end up tiptoeing through life, hoping to make it safely to death. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but that's about the most depressing thought that's ever been shared with me. And if this is starting to resonate with you, you might have found the place where you can begin to transition from the left-hand side to the right-hand side. See, too many people obsess over what success and money will bring to them rather than obsessing on what it will take to create the success that they want. We just pass that over. We gloss over it. And all we do is dream. The single most determinant factor of success is taking action. And again, if you're not taking the necessary action, and you want to change, it starts with your thinking. See, if you don't conquer self, you'll be conquered by self. Mark Cuban looked at the pandemic that we're going through and really a lot of reflection that we're all going through. And he put it this way. He said, we're in the process of quickly moving from America 1.0 to America 2.0. Somebody out there has a vision of what we're going to look like on the other side of this pandemic. And when we look back in 5 years, we're going to realize that there were 5, 10, maybe 25 amazing companies that were either started or really took off that literally changed the world and led us through all of this mess to a brighter future. Go look up things like the Great Resignation, the Great Reset. People are really going through a time and a reflection right now and are wanting to focus more on what is their time worth? What is the value of their time? What's the quality of life that they want? Working, how we work is changing. Are you ready for that? And if you've been thinking about this, you're not alone. And again, you just may have found the place to help you begin to make that transition. And I want you to think about this question. I'm going to wrap up here. And you've probably heard this posed in this or similar ways, but I'm going to approach it a little differently. But I want you to ask yourself, what do you really, really want? From this perspective, if money were no object, how would you live and conduct your life? See, most of us immediately start going to, well, I'd give more time at my church, or I'd donate time to a charity, or more time with my family. That's great. But here's what you're missing. I said, if money were no object, is money no object for you now? See, what we got to do is get you to the point where money is no object. But what you really, really want is the motivation to do so. And then you can finally begin to conduct your life by your rules, how you want to live it. See, time isn't running out, it's infinite, but your time is. And yet I want you to know, from my perspective, from Inspire Partners' perspective, you each are special, have been chosen to do something amazing with your lives, to put a fingerprint on this world, to live to your true potential, to live richly and freely. You can have it all. You can have it all any time that you want, any time that you're ready to make a decision. But will you? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? This is just one piece of all the information on this site. Take it all in. Again, if it's resonating with you, let's talk again. If this might be the place for you to start the transition, to experience the great reset of America 2.0, then it's time to decide, because it's just your future that hangs in the balance. Thanks for your time. I look forward to our next conversation.